Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My amendment would stop the dangerous critical race theory and anti-American ideology from being pushed in the United States military and taught in educational institutions under the Department of Defense. I urge my colleagues to support it because it is not sustainable to push this anti-Americanism on our troops. The men and women who wear the uniform, who take an oath to protect and defend our Constitution and our country, knowing that they could pay the ultimate sacrifice in doing so. How do we expect the next generation of leaders to get up and raise their right hand like I did and many of you did when we're teaching them that America is inherently racist and evil? We all know, every single one of us in this room know, that this is the greatest country in the history of the world. Are we perfect? No. Is our history perfect? Of course not. But there's nothing that comes close to what we have in America, and it is not sustainable to tell our troops anything otherwise. In fact, it's dangerous. We've seen some startling examples already, and I fear if we don't do something today, we're going to see many more. We already know that at West Point, they required cadets to read Critical Race Theory, an introduction. Admiral Gilday sat right there and defended his decision to instruct Navy sailors, every single one of them, to read a ridiculous book titled How to Be an Anti-Racist, which is actually a racist book that argues that our Constitution, quote, is a mask to hide America's racism. Think about that for a moment. Especially think about that as you think about the oath that our soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines take to defend our Constitution. And we have the highest ranking admiral in the Navy telling our sailors to read a book that teaches them that the Constitution is a mask to hide America's racism. General Milley sat there and infamously defended critical race theory, explaining the ideology was an integral part of the military's mission. I can't help but wonder what would have happened if General Milley had spent more time on our plans withdrawing from Afghanistan than on prioritizing this dangerous anti-American garbage. That's why, again, I urge you to support my amendment to ban the teaching of critical race theory and anti-Americanism in our military. With that, Mr. Chairman, I yield back. Thank my colleague for yielding. Let's be very clear about what this amendment does. Since some of you haven't read it, I'll read to you what it specifically does. This amendment would ban our military from teaching racist ideas, not embracing them. This amendment says that in the military, you cannot push an ideology or teach an ideology in our academies that says that any race is superior or inferior to any other race, or that people are responsible for the actions of other members of their race, or that the Declaration of Independence and the U.S. Constitution are racist, or that race determines moral worth, or that people can be racist or oppressive simply because of their skin color. That's what this amendment does. So you either believe that it's okay to teach this and push this poisonous ideology on men and women who put on the uniform to serve and protect our country and potentially to die and pay the ultimate sacrifice for America. You either believe it's okay to teach that to them or you don't. I believe that it's counterproductive. It's not sustainable for this country to ask men and women to raise their right hand to uphold and defend the Constitution of the United States of America if at the same time you're teaching them that the Constitution is racist. We have to do a better job at teaching them that America is worth fighting for. And that's exactly what this amendment does. I yield back.